people like a buff guy with a mustache. Can we disagree with that? Who doesn't love a buff man with a mustache?
Hello, guys, and welcome back to Behind the Brilliance. I'm Ashtyn.
And I'm Danielle.
And today we are talking all things TikTok strategy, social media strategy, all things social media. And what is today? I feel like it might be a special event.
Tuesday. Today's Tuesday.
But what else?
It's my birthday.
Happy birthday.
Thanks to Ashtyn. She hooked us up with some matchas for today's episode of Behind the Brilliance. They're literally live in, I think, 8 places right now. So we are on the Brilliant Lash Pro, TikTok, Instagram.
How often should I be posting if I'm trying to grow my lash page? I would say every day.
Yeah, I want to say rule of thumb, no matter what your business is, no matter what you're trying to grow, post every day. I know that sounds like a ton of work. But what the strategy is, and this is what Ashtyn and I actually do, well, Ashtyn mostly, Ashtyn does this, is once every 2 weeks, she plans 2 weeks worth of content. So she spends one day planning the content for 2 weeks. We have also one day where we execute the shooting. So one day you can plan and one day you can shoot everything. And she's a master. She's like a one-hitter quitter. We only have to record everything one time and it's done. So it does seem overwhelming, but it is so doable. Just batch create your content.
We literally get 2 weeks worth of content done in maybe an hour, and we just go pow, 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 and it makes our life so much easier. Every Monday, I go ahead and I schedule all of our posts for the week, and we get at least one post up a day. Super helpful.
Yeah.
We have a question on the live. What time of day is best for posting?
What do you think?
I think that it kind of genuinely just depends on your audience. For us personally, our times kind of vary. So on TikTok, normally our times that are best and ideal are 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. But then on TikTok, it's like 4 to 6 p.m. So it kind of just depends on your audience. Kind of try to curate the times that you're posting towards when people are on their lunch break, out of work, those times where everybody's peak on their phones, which think about for yourself. Like I'm mostly on my phone in the morning when I wake up and at night before I go to bed. So kind of just take that into account.
Yeah, I will say here's a strategy too for your social media in general is that you can't gather any real data until you actually post. And so by posting consistently, maybe starting with not trying to worry that much about the time is going to give you the data that you need to analyze those results. And also there are some great tools out there. In fact, if you go to you DM me scheduler, I will send you my favorite social media scheduling tool, which also involves metrics.
How do you decide what content to create and post?
Ooh.
Okay. So what I like to do personally for our niche is I like to do at least 1 to 2 viral videos a week, because those viral videos are what's going to shoot your account out to everybody. It's going to be, those are your relatable videos, your funny videos, the one of me pouring water on Danielle's head. These are the kind of videos that people want to see and are going to repost. And that's what's going to bring your account traction. Then you go into another post, which is going to be kind of your educational content, why people are going to be there. So for us, for example, since we are a lash brand, the point of our lash brand or our social media is to kind of make people want to buy our products. So I educate people about our products. How do you get the best lash lifts? This is how you're going to use our products. Okay, educational, something that the audience is going to use, something that is, what's the word?
Useful?
Yes.
Coming from like, we're a little opposite sometimes because I'm like a planner. I'm all, well, 20% this, 20%. We should start with like an even distribution of different types of content. However, again, this comes back around to you really can't truly know the value of the types of content that you're posting until you post consistently and you see what the results are.
Yes.
And I know, were you looking for value?
Value.
Okay. You have to offer value to your audience. So there's many reasons and strategies for offering value. And so depending on what you're trying to promote, if you're a lash artist, then basically the point of your profile or your social media is to show how, not only show your work, but showcase yourself. I think I try to think of myself as a consumer when I'm looking at somebody else's profile. Am I interested in coming to this person for their services? And also, usually I'm digging to see what that person looks like. It is what it is. I'm an energy-based person. What? Okay. I'm an energy-based person. So like, not only do I want to see how good your work is, but I want to know more about you. So this is a great variety of content. Viral. Look, If you like the viral stuff, great. If you don't, there's no pressure to do that either. I think that's like an acquired taste for some people, but also don't be scared, because if you watch other people do it, it's just fun. What I like to do, and what we do too, I think in addition to her planning days, is have a place where you store inspirational content just while you're scrolling. Like on a day-to-day basis, you are scrolling. And so when you come across something, you're like, I can do that. Sometimes it's totally unrelated to the eventual idea. You might see somebody in a different field or niche you can apply it to yourself.
Okay, so what do I even post on days I don't have clients? Guys, repurpose your content. When you have a client, take all of the content that you can. I'm talking befores, afters, videos, different angles, just everything. Turn those into feed posts, turn those into carousel posts, turn those into reels, educational reels, a story. Literally repurpose your content as many times as you can, because you can get so much value out of one video.
Yeah.
That's what you're going to post on days that you don't have clients. Just repurpose what you already have.
Yeah. I mean, believe me, you probably have 20 posts in your camera roll right now.
Do hashtags still matter in 2025 or not? Yes.
No.
What?
I can't stand hashtags. They're almost like, but although obviously the purpose is to be categorized, but I'm just going to say, through what I've gathered recently, so 2025, we're at the end of 2025. Okay. First of all, do you use hashtags when you're looking for stuff?
No.
Okay. Well, the reason why hashtags are helpful is because they are using keywords that are helping the platform share your content. But what I learned recently, and this is what I kind of love about the evolution of social media, TikTok specifically was testing out more posts that had no hashtags. They were and if you had too many hashtags, they were demoting your post. Why? Because the platforms are leaning more towards authentic, natural content, not salesy stuff, not stuff that's trying to be pushed for the wrong reasons. So hashtags were becoming a detrimental part of your posts. I'm not saying that's a true fact to this day, but what I can appreciate is that if you have good quality content and you're delivering stuff, value, or, entertainment, you shouldn't need hashtags.
Okay. I can agree with that. But at the same time, I recently just posted a video and I had 5 hashtags that were relevant to the video and it blew up. But then sometimes I post without hashtags and it doesn't.
But you can't determine that it was the hashtag.
It could have just been the keywords and the trends that were happening.
Speaking of blowing up, we've had 3 viral. You had 3. We've had 3 people in the salon this week go viral. Ashtyn included, and 3 of her posts have been going viral. And I think that's a topic that we should talk about right now, about strategizing your virality.
Which actually leads us to our next comment.
Okay.
What makes a reel go viral?
You tell me.
Okay, well, my situation is kind of a little bit uncommon because I'm just being very controversial. I think that anything that creates conversation will help you get viral. So like for me, for example, my TikTok that blew up was about my Halloween costume.
We'll show you that on screen for the replay for those of you watching us.
For those of you not watching, basically I posted a TikTok to a trend and it was like, what are you doing for Halloween? And I said, I'm going out in my Halloween costumes because my future husband won't care what I wear. And let me just say, the men were not happy. The men were not happy at all, actually. And it created a lot of controversy. All the girls are reposting because they're like, I relate to this. This is relatable. This is exactly how I think. So I'm getting reposts from that. And then I'm also getting a whole bunch of comments. They are hate comments, but any publicity is publicity. I don't care if it's negative. So make sure that if you are being controversial, you can take the heat. Because I'm definitely getting a lot of hate.
Yeah.
But the hate is what's pushing my video out more.
Exactly.
And like another girl in our salon, she posted a video like pretending to hate on her fiance, and that blew up too. So it's honestly kind of one way to make a reel go viral is something that's creating conversation, something that's relatable, something that's controversial. Your video blew up that was controversial too about Lashify.
Yeah.
So honestly, just something that creates conversation or something funny.
Well, and I think that some of the recipe there was controversy first. People are like, what? and they're super like inspired to comment. And the more engagement that the post has, the more that the platform values that piece of content, pushes it out more, because the platform's whole strategy is they're waiting to make sure, they want to keep you on the platform. So if you're creating something that people love, they're like, push more, push more, push more. This will keep people on the platform. So really it is a win-win-win. If you do quality content, the platform is going to reward you for it. So controversy, conversation, and the one part that we wanted to mention on that is that's what's happening with some controversy is that there are a lot of negative people in the comments. So prepare yourself and be okay with that.
But even I just kind of feel like funny content will also get you pretty far. For example, we have a video with Garrett, her boyfriend, and it was like funny on my Lash page, and it had like 50,000 views now.
Because people like a buff guy with a mustache. Can we disagree with that? Who doesn't love a buff man with a mustache?
How can I promote products without sounding salesy?
Well, here's an example. Cleanser. Are you selling cleanser to your clients? If not, why? Don't they need cleanser? Like, there's nothing worse than a client that has bad retention or dirty lashes. So it's not being salesy. It's believing in the product that you're offering and making sure that the client is properly educated on why they need it, because it's a team effort, and protecting the health of your lashes is super necessary. Did you have a opposing response to that?
What is your take on posting trends versus educational content? I personally think that trends are better than educational videos, because me personally, as a consumer, I'm not going to sit there and stop at an educational video. Like, when I'm scrolling, I'm not going to stop and listen. But I also just don't really like learning things, so that's probably why. I know there's some people that do like learning things, but I'm not one of those people. I would rather just sit in my bed and doom scroll and watch stupid videos that are funny. So I'm not going to stop and watch an educational video.
Okay, see, well, now you have two different consumers, because that's all I do in my free time is watch educational videos. But so that's great. A mixture. What's my take on posting trends versus? Well, maybe there isn't a versus. Maybe that is the point, is that you kind of have to do them all. What I was my original response was actually, okay, funny stuff does get your attention. Our funny stuff gets the most views by far, for sure. Mm-hmm. But does it always encourage a follow? Because for me, I don't follow everybody that makes me laugh. I scroll and I keep scrolling. I don't always follow. Mm-hmm. So sometimes when you're offering true value, something that really actually helps somebody, if you can catch their attention, that might encourage a follow. That's my take on why educational content is super important, but it can be boring and it doesn't always get as many views.
That is true. But that's another thing that's very like a misconception. When you post something a lot, and say that you post something and it only gets like 300 views, people are like feeling discouraged about that and they want to delete it, but don't. Keep all of your videos up, because especially on TikTok, if you delete a TikTok that gets a low amount of views and then you delete it, it actually is like almost putting like a negative point on your account, and TikTok will stop boosting your posts because you're not like keeping your videos up and you're not staying consistent with it.
Yeah. And there's a lot of evidence nowadays that a post doesn't necessarily go viral right away. Mm-hmm. Like sometimes something will be up for a couple of weeks and then all of a sudden it'll blow up. How long should a post wait before you evaluate it? Because like maybe the next day isn't the best day, or 2 days later. So I've heard recently, like, let a post sit for 7 days before you fully judge its performance. And that still doesn't mean it can't go pop off in 2 weeks or 3 weeks later. So there really isn't a full answer, but I like what you said. Even if a post tanks, let it sit there. It's better. It's valuable. It's valuable insight. I think a flop is just as a valuable insight as a post that goes viral, because it's giving insights on what's working and what's not. So,
all right, guys, thank you so much for sticking around and listening to us ramble about social media. If you have any questions about social media, feel free to DM us on Instagram or send us a quick little email, and we can help you out, because we love our brilliant babes.
And we love being brilliant.
We do. Happy birthday, Danielle. I hope this was a fun little celebration for you.
It was. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody.
We will see you guys next week. Bye.